said Conrad Cornelius O'Donnell Odell, my very young friend who's learning how to spell. The A is for ape, the B is for bear, the C is for camel, the H is for hare, the M is for mouse, the R is for rat. I know all the 26 letters like that. Through to Z is for zebra, I know them all well, said Conrad Cornelius O'Donnell Odell. So now I know everything everyone knows, from beginning to end, from start to the close, because Z is as far as the alphabet goes. Then he almost fell flat on his face on the floor when I picked up the chalk and drew one letter more. A letter he never had dreamed of before, and I said, "You can stop if you want," was Z, because most people stop with a Z, but not me. In the places I go, there are things that I see that I never could spell if I stopped with a Z. I'm telling you this because you're one of my friends. My alphabet starts where your alphabet ends. My alphabet starts with this letter called what? Yuz. It's the letter I use spelled Yuzamuz. You will be sort of surprised what there is to be found once you go beyond Z and start poking around. So on beyond zebra, explore, like Columbus, discover new letters, like one is for Wumbus, my high-spouting whale who lives high on a hill and who never comes down till time to refill. So on beyond Z, it's high time you were shown that you really don't know all there is to be known. Then just step a step further past Wumbus for Wumbus, and you'll find is for Umbus, sort of a cow with one head and one tail, but milk. This is great cow you'll need for one pail. She has 98 faucets that give milk quite nicely, perhaps 99. I forgot just precisely. And boy, she is something most people don't see because most people stop at Z, but not me. I ramble, I scramble through swamp and through swamp, where the letters get bigger like hump. There's a real handy letter. What's handy about it? You can just spell hump, a dumpster without it. If you stay home with zebra, you're stuck in a rut. But on beyond zebra, you're anything but. Why, I know a fine fancy letter called fuddle. I use it in spelling Miss Fuddle, defuddle. And oh, what a bird of a bird of a bird of her tail as longest that I've ever heard of. So long and so fancy she'd be in a fix. If she didn't have helpers, it would take about 6 to tag along, hoisting Miss Fuddle Fuddle's wonderful tail out and muddle muddle. And Glick is for Glicker, who lives in wild weeds and spends his time juggling fresh cinnamon seeds, which he's usually able to find in great number, excepting, of course, in mouth in September, when cinnamon seeds aren't around in a great number, so that mouth he juggles with seeds of cucumber. And nut is the letter I used to spell nutches, who live in a small cave known as niches for hutches. These nutches have trouble, the biggest of which is the fact that there are many more nutches than niches. Each nutch is a niche, knows that some other nutch would like to move into his niche very much. So each nutch is in a niche, has to watch that small niche or niches. Who haven't got niches will snitch. Then we go on to Snee, and Snee is for Sneedle, a terrible kind of vicious mosquito, whose humdinger stinger is sharp as a needle. The Sneedle's too tough to be killed with a smack, so he has to be hunted on an elephant's back. And your eyes and elephants have to be mean, and you have to aim faster than you have to hit clean. And the bullet you shoot is a stale navy bean that you've dunked for 3 weeks in an old sour kerosene, which is awful hard work, so it is easy to see why most people stop at Z, but not me. And Thanatus for Thanatarus, and oh, are they sad. Oh, the big one you see has smaller one shadows. The shadow is small, the natter should be his. I don't understand it, but that's how it is. A terrible mix-up in shadows. Gee whiz. And spaz is a letter I use to spell spasm, a beast who belongs to the nasm of basm. Handy for traveling, but that's why he has on more easy to pack than a suitcase or grip. Those horns carry all he needs to trip, a thread and a needle for meddling his socks, his toothbrush, a cup, and two three-handed clocks, and his velvet umbrella, his vegetable chopper, and also his gold-plated popcorn popper, and a grasshopper cage for his favorite grasshopper. And flob is for flob bobber, bab bobbers bubs, who bounce in the water like blueberry tubs. They're not good to eat, you can't cook them like steaks, but they are handy in crossing small oceans and lakes. And Zats is the letter I use to spell Zatzits, whose nose is so high that nobody pats it. And patting his lonely old nose is the least that a fellow could do for the fine friendly beast. So to get there and do it, I build an invention, a three-seater Zatzit nose padding extension. If you try to drive one, you certainly see why most people stop at Z, but not me. And jog is my letter for spelling jog-ons, whose doodle around in far desert dunes. Just doodle around, crooning very sad tunes about peppermints, peanuts, and pebbles and prunes, and paint pots and polka dots, pinning heads and pigs, and their grandmother's grandfather's stepsister's wings. See you, there's no ends to be things you might know, depending on how far zebra you go. Fish nice fellow who hides in a tunnel. He only comes out his hole, I'm afraid, when right kind of softfish nice music is played. One kind of hunting horn called the O'Grunt, and to learn how it's played is take month after month of practicing. Isn't much fun, and besides, it's quite heavy, weighs most a ton. That's why a few people bother to play grunt, so funnel's been out in the tunnel is just one. And way past Z is a letter called itch, and itch is for ichthyopods, animals which race around back and forth and back through the air on a very high sidewalk between here and there. They're afraid to stay there, they're afraid to stay here. They think there is too far, they think here is too near. And since here is too near and there is too far, they are too scared to roost wherever they are. There's a letter called Yeek, and Yeek is for Geeko, who howl underground, Greto and Greco. These Yeekos love echoes, and that is their motto. For best Yeekos echoes, try Geeko, our grotto. Oh, the things you can find if you don't stay behind. On a world near the sun live two brothers called Verms, who strangely enough were built sort like brooms, and they are stuck up all alone, high up in the blue. And so, to kill time, just for something to do, each one of these fellows take turns with others in sweeping the dust off the world with his brothers. And hi is my letter for High Gargle Room, for getting me places real fast. I am all for 'em. The puffle along, their brakes never squeak, and they run every hour, every day, every week. From town to the North Nub, from east to once, making stops at West Bunfield, Yester jumps, and at Lipswich and Nipswich, and also South Bounce, and another small town that's too hard to pronounce. The places I took him, I tried hard to tell young Conrad Cornelius O'Donnell Odell a few brand new wonderful words he might spell. I led him around, I tried hard to show there are things beyond Z that people must know. I took him past zebra as far as I could go, and I think, perhaps, maybe I did some good. Because, finally, he said, this is really great stuff, and I guess the old alphabet isn't enough. Now the letters he uses are something to see. Most people still stop at Z, but not he.